Suck a look at you.
You're listening to the Jersey Tuck Podcast.
Hello out there. Thank you very much for joining us. It is July 2nd, 2021, and you're listening to the Jersey Tuck Podcast.
The Jersey Tuck Podcast.
This week, we're rocking a four-man roster as Tyrell is out this week, but sure he'll be back next week. We'll truck on without him. How are we guys? How are we all doing this week? How are we guys?
It's been a funny week because of the Canada Day holiday landing on a Thursday is interesting because it actually turns your week into a 3-day week.
Very, yeah, and definitely a different Canada Day altogether. So, it's one for the books, to say the
Gotta
least.
enjoy those long weekends. You gotta enjoy.
Oh, fuck. I love it. It feels like it's weird because when I got up this morning, it felt like Monday. Because of the
I can
holiday.
see that.
Same.
And then I went to work for like 3 hours and it was dead. No one else was working. So I was just like, okay, I left at like 11.
Yeah, and then you got the pod right after work. Talking about sports.
It's excellent.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah. And as we speak now, Italy's up 2-0 on Belgium.
Oh,
Ooh, very nice. Thank you very much for following on Spotify, liking on Facebook, subbing on YouTube, and watching live on Twitch, because we're live on Twitch. So we got a couple fun topics this week. We are winding down, guys, on the playoffs for the NBA and the NHL. The NHL, we're pretty close to finishing it. How are you feeling,
Really
Fred?
close.
I'm nervous, man.
I mean, that's understandable.
I'm a little bit upset. Like they played so, they were playing so well game two. Like they outshot them by like 25 shots or something. They're going into the third period.
Yep.
And then just mistakes, man.
Yeah, it's crazy because like the whole ride, you're like, no, I'm cool. Glad we're this far. Hey, look, we did it again. And that's like, okay, now it's time to be like, okay, this is where I'm like locked in, very emotional. Yeah. I care about mistakes. I'm going to get mad if stuff went wrong, and it's totally justified. Yeah. So. I mean,
because now it's cup. Like you want the cup. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's gonna suck if you lose. Like if you lost last round against the Knights, you're like, hey man, like it sucks, but like we're happy and like stuff like that. You know what I mean? But now it's like, if we don't win the fucking cup, it sucks.
You're right there, right?
Yeah.
You're right
there.
You're right there.
Man.
It's a tough one too because like seeing the game and like the fact that it was like all Montreal in game two, like. It's how they were beating teams going into the final. Like it was crazy, right? Like in games where like they're the ones, like they were the Tampa in that game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting outshot and like, but like, keeping like a sound defensive game and then just, attacking, like getting the counter attack goals. It's fucking, man. Like I saw Fred and I was just like, it just reminded me of the first series. And I was like, I was like, this is my pain.
It's
This is what I felt. He didn't know.
Montreal's biggest problem now is what I was expecting is Andre Vasilevsky, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best goalie. He's the best goalie in the league.
Yeah. Hands
Like
down.
Carey Price is playing like one of the best goalies in the league, but overall consistency right now, Andre Vasilevsky's the best goalie in the league, man. He's just a fucking beast. Like for instance, that goal he let in, because that one goal he let in was a weak one that he wants back. But the way Vasilevsky is you're not going to beat him again like that. If he lets in one bad goal, that's it. That's all you're getting on him. He'll rebound and he won't let you get another one like that.
He's so focused that he doesn't blink ever.
He does.
I've never seen him blink.
I've never seen him blink.
He
I've never
purposely
seen him
does it
blink.
the crazy eyes. It's freaking weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about, if it's like an ultra focus thing, but he does crazy eyes.
But how does he how does it work? Like, man, I hold my eyes open like that for like 5 seconds and they feel like they're burning and they're going to pop out of my head.
I mean, when you're a Russian machine, you don't need to blink.
Yeah, Russian machine never
It was
breaks.
he was
Yeah.
trained. He was trained to keep his eyes open like that.
That
Trained
was
by
like
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
That's
To
just
be an
like-
absolute robot / android on the floor.
yeah,
Oh my
On the
god.
very
ice.
much.
So before we get too far into it, we'll start off with this series. But hey, we gotta play a little catch up.
It's called a ketchup song.
Not too much to catch up on, but yes, we are in the Stanley Cup final, and game one, the Lightning won 5-1 against the Canadiens. It's a bit of a dominant victory there, but game two closed the gap a little bit, but still 3-1 for the Lightning, and that's where we stand to this point. It is 2-0, and there's another game this evening. So I guess. What are some standout things to both of those games? I'll start with Mitch. For the first game, did anything in specific stand out to you? Was there a lack of effort on one end of the ice? Did you see any superstars not show up, or someone more than others? What do you think?
For the first game, I think it was Montreal just didn't play their game. I don't know. It was a very like just kind of out of the gate kind of slow game. I think they're playing a bit undisciplined too and stuff like that, and penalty troubles and stuff like that. I think they just got caught chasing, so if they weren't playing their game, it was just a simple matter of fact that. And I mean, Tampa were just full force going for their offense, but I think it was just a matter. It was just a matter of I think it was just one of those. It was a figuring out game, like most of the first games are, and then Tampa just kind of just took it, and it was just kind of thing. Montreal kind of put themselves behind the 8 ball and never caught back up.
Right.
I didn't even think that it was particularly one-sided. Like Fred, we watched that game together. Like
One of those games where like the score doesn't tell the story.
Yeah, a little bit. Like Montreal had like even to start the game in the first half of it, like Montreal were. The only time where you saw it kind of like uneven was in the third period when Tampa kind of locked down the lead.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It was just one of those things. It was just like momentum. It was a momentum change, the quick momentum change, and then it was just a quick snowball, and that was it. Like like the 5-1 score wasn't them controlling it, like Josh said, through the whole game.
Right.
It fell apart at the seams in the third period for Montreal. That's what happened there.
Yeah, and obviously with sports like hockey. Don't judge the game just on the final score, just because like you have empty net like goals and stuff like that. So could be a lot going on, especially at the end of the games.
I kind of expect like game 3 is going to be different because the big thing that I've noticed in this one, like in the series so far, is just the coaching difference. Like every other team that went up against Montreal so far hasn't done the matchup thing.
Yeah.
Like they let Montreal have the matchup, and finally John Cooper is like getting the star players away from Danault line.
Exactly.
And it's working for them now, and that's why I think like tonight's a huge game for Montreal. And I know it's like a little bit like there's like Fred's feeling the nerves because it's game 3 and you're down 2-0, but like everything is in Montreal's favor to have a bounce back game tonight because like they have home ice advantage, they have final change, they're going to be able to get mostly like the matchup they're looking for, and I expect to kind of see one of those games where like, and I would like to see it because I want to see like Montreal's dynamic in the playoffs has been like get the lead, hold the lead. Kind of thing. I would like to see them get the first goal.
Yeah,
I don't think they had the first goal.
First goal is gonna be huge for Montreal here.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be crucial. Actually, to be honest with you, they need first goal.
Yeah. So it's gonna be nerve-wracking to watch it. Sorry, Alex. It's gonna be nerve-wracking to watch it. It'll be fun because like they get that first goal and then you're gonna see Tampa waves, and I want to see if Montreal can do that lockdown.
Yeah.
They actually just hold it down with the lead. Like,
here's a question I just wanted to field to you guys because we've been a lot of podcasts talking about basically like. Again, the comparisons. Like Brooklyn Nets of the NBA feel like Tampa Bay of the NHL. Stacked team that just somehow doesn't feels right for them to be in that position. And in a lot of reasons for the Lightning, it's actually pretty well justified why they shouldn't be in that position. Do you feel that when you're watching the games?
Yes. I mean, there's guys there that make a huge difference that probably wouldn't be there if they weren't over the cap. Like Alex Killorn is a playoff guy, and he's a clutch guy and a make or break guy. And I know he was out last game, and you could tell he was missing. You could tell they were missing him.
He's confirmed out tonight too.
Oh, is he? Okay. And so I mean that's a guy that makes that guy's a clutch guy, man. That's a depth guy there. Any team who's pushing for a cup wants on their team, and there was rumors that he was going to be dealt because they wouldn't be able to hold him. keep his contract under the salary cap. So that's
Right.
one guy. Like David Savard, I mean, he's a shutdown, solid defenseman. That's a guy there on your back end that they probably wouldn't have signed if the guys weren't on the under the cap kind of deal. And I think another guy too. They were sure because of the salary cap before Kucherov was gone all season. Everyone thought Tyler Johnson was gone too. I mean, Tyler Johnson's not putting up the numbers like he was, but I mean, to have Tyler Johnson on your like third, fourth line, be able to strike all of a sudden,
he can
Still effective.
yeah. So, and Blake Coleman too, man. That's another deal. I don't know if Blake Coleman's still there or not. And
Oh my god, that goal!
yeah, that was a sick goal
Holy
though.
crap.
Man, it's just a
So-
sick pass. Sick
Let's talk a
goal,
little
finish.
bit about game 2, and I'm gonna feel basically the same thing I did to Mitch, to Fred. Anything that stood out to you? Any players that went above and beyond? Anyone that you thought didn't do enough of, or what they were, expected to do? Like, I guess their average performance. Any up or down in that regard?
I'll pick for up right now. Like I think Nick Suzuki is having an amazing.
Suzuki
series.
is sick. Yeah.
He finished that game, but I could be wrong. I think he had like 9-10 shots. He had more shots than Tampa had like the entire 2 periods.
Yeah.
Like, he was fine. Man.
His
Like,
defensive game too, man. If his trajectory, if he doesn't fall backwards, I think he could be the next Patrice Bergeron of the league.
yeah,
Like
a lot of
that Selke guy. Man,
a lot of people are saying it.
he puts up points, but his two-way game is just sick.
Yeah.
He's such a good, solid two-way player, man. I think he could be the next Patrice Bergeron of the league if
I don't
if his
think
trajectory
he's
keeps going
going
that
to
way.
go down, Mitch.
No, I don't think so either. I think he got the
hockey.
hockey IQ there, so I don't think he's going to go down either. So
It's really good for him to be playing with Deneau then right now.
So
Yeah.
Kokanyemi had 4 shots on goal, and ahead of him, Nick Suzuki 9 shots on goal.
Yeah, 9 shots,
In-
and they were
in game
good
2.
chances. And
Yeah.
good chances.
they were just the goals that killed Montreal was just shit. Like the one that it looked weak, but it wasn't because I think it went off John Merrill's shin pad or one of the boys' shin pads. It wasn't a huge redirection, and a lot of people, I know that the analysis at the time weren't catching it, but it went off from the one from the point that beat Price. That redirected a little bit, and then that fucking drop pass was a Petrie.
Edmondson,
Or
I think.
Edmondson, yeah,
Edmondson.
that
Yeah,
drop
that was
pass is brutal, man. He fucked Carey Price and Petrie over there because I think he was drop passing to Petrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was a bad drop pass. I mean you put it right there for
Bouncing
fucking.
off the backboard.
And for that third goal too, Mitch, where I think it was Weber tried to shoot it up the boards, and it came back like on like a 2-on. It would have been a 2-on-2, but then Sherratt went for the puck instead of just playing defense.
Yeah.
And then it was a 2-on-1, and I was like, oh my god, like come on.
Oh yeah, you that Coleman goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he shouldn't have
second
cheated
goal.
up. He shouldn't
Yeah.
have cheated. There was
Yeah, that was weird too. That was bad. It was
with the
that's
amount of
just
time, you
shit.
could just play defense and just.
That you put your team in a rough spot because
Yeah.
it's literally that much time in the clock. Like you almost naturally start to leave off the gas, and you're like, okay, period's over. Then all of a sudden, your fucking defenseman is it Weber that was stuck in the middle of a 2-on-1 or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, like that's brutal, and it's like and that's a sick goal too. I mean, Blake Coleman
Like it was
literally-
well deserved. He did that 2
yeah.
playoffs in a row now.
Yeah, like that was just he had to fucking reach for that, but still.
Yeah.
So I mean, and Vasilevsky played sick for him again. I mean, Vasilevsky's like I was saying is Vasilevsky. So
They got to get in his head because Vasi's and everyone else is right now. So
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
if you can get a nice goal, like if you can get Caulfield in his head early,
Yeah.
man, that would be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
That's who you
Caulfield's-
want to see get going.
You gotta
Yeah.
shoot high in Vasilevsky too, and if anyone can snipe high, it's Caulfield. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think it's just a thing tonight. And like Fred said, the matchup game. John Cooper has been
Going to
doing
be
the
a
matchup.
big difference tonight.
Was actually playing matchup chess this
Mhm.
time around instead of just trying to do head to head lines. So
I'm
this,
looking forward to that matchup tonight, like what he's going to try to do, because he's going to try to do everything he can, not having home ice advantage, to sneak point away from Deneau.
And to be honest, if anyone could do it, it's going to be Cooper. Like,
yeah,
he'll
he
figure out how to
would.
do it.
He
He's a
would
great
too.
coach.
He's a smart dude, man. He's a smart
Yeah.
coach. Fred, I asked you too, and I've been asking, and I never for some reason I only realized it in this series now, and man, maybe there's a reason why he's there, and it's more obvious than I know, but I really think he looks like shit there. Why is Gustafson on the fucking power play? I honestly think he looks like absolute.
man, trust me, myself and
dick.
Josh,
yeah.
Well, not only that, like, okay, sure, he has one power play goal the whole playoffs on that power play, but he's so weak defensively on the season.
He's
I
terrible
know.
defensively.
I really don't think
He's
he
just
can
weak.
hold that fucking line. And, like, if that fucking puck chips past him,
No, he can't,
like,
and he's
it's
slow.
Fucked.
It doesn't make any
Like,
sense.
I remember we watched him on the power play. He made a mistake, and then, like, it was a breakaway, and he could not even catch up. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're on the power play. You're not even working hard. Just go get the puck. Oh, my God.
Like, he cannot.
Put
He can't,
Romanov
like,
out there and start hitting people.
yes, like, he can't walk the line, and I find he has a shit shot from the line.
Yeah,
and
he has a
not good
muffin.
passer.
He has
I
a muffin.
Yeah. I'm often.
I just watching it, and there was for some reason I was the first time realizing he was there, and maybe it's because he was making mistakes more. But man, I thought he looks crap on the power play.
Mitch,
Where did he
100%.
pick up
He
from?
is not good. He is just not a good player. I don't know why they're relying on him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Where was it he was picked up from?
Chicago.
I know he was on Chicago. Was it
Or Philly
still-
or something?
Yeah,
Philly
he
or
was-
Chicago,
went to
one of
Philly.
them.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because and I remember in his time in Chicago and stuff like that, like he was a good offensive player,
Yeah,
but that was
I don't know.
it. He was a power
Yeah,
play
he was
guy.
probably playing with Duncan Keith. It's different.
Yeah, why are you trying? Like, I don't get why Ducharme or whoever's calling the shots there is trying to pigeonhole him on like in a power play role. Like, you don't really need that. Like, you have Petrie, you have
And
Weber.
Weber.
Yeah, you
And
have the hardest
Coffey's a-
shot in the game. Like,
Yeah.
Man,
you don't
he only
need him
gets
there.
6 minutes a game, roughly.
Yeah.
That's how much he's averaging. 6 something. He
You put
doesn't
it-
even belong.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's even hard. I think you're putting him even in a shittier spot. Like, he's playing next to the lowest amount of ice time out of everyone,
Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, go in the power play now, and the dude's barely touched the puck.
yeah.
And where he's gonna be, like, I don't know, man. I think
I don't agree with that either.
I don't think the ability is there, and
Yeah.
two, I think you're setting him up for fucking failure by
Yeah.
barely playing him and then sending him out in the power play.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
know. I think it's a recipe for disaster.
You played Romanov on the power play
That's what I was gonna
this season, and he played fine. He never scored, but he can lock up that blue line. Like, you
Yeah.
won't pass him. He will crunch you.
And I honestly, Fred, I think like Romanov's physicality is more of an asset in this series now. Like, you should have Romanov there playing.
Yeah,
Like,
you should make point be like, fuck, I hope he's not there.
We watched
You know what I mean?
Romanov destroy Pietrangelo in
Yes.
the last series.
Yes.
Like, just open ice, like crushed him.
yeah.
yeah.
Like,
So
Yeah, no,
so
like that's
frustrating.
what you got to do against Tampa too, man. They got more speed. Make them
punch 'em.
afraid to cut across.
Yeah. Well, clearly in the last series, like Matt Martin and Sadiq, it's like these guys they will hit you hard, right? Like,
Yeah.
Montreal are not scaring them. They're just like, whatever.
So
Like,
what I want you guys to do now, as we I'm going to ask you a couple questions about like the season as a total, but for this particular series, who do you think? So you named a couple names in like with regards to both ends of the spectrum, but like who would you like to see step up, and who is dominant right now that you'd like to see like I guess not a lineup change, but like a different defensive approach against to lock him down so that things can change on your end.
is it just with Montreal?
Both, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gotta think for a second.
Oh, you think
Someone
away.
else think first.
I need
I
a
okay.
Jeopardy sound drop.
I think where you're like, we already touched on it a little bit, but Vasilevsky,
Yep.
you can't let him have eyes. If he has eyes on the puck, he's going to save it.
Yeah.
So you got to clutter the front of the net, get big. So I think people like Perry and
I think
Gallagher, like these are the guys who are going to get you your dirty, ugly goals that you want.
Right. Okay.
If you're like, okay, I love Caulfield to like roof a shot, but if he sees it, he's so big. You're talking about a guy who's like 6'7" on skates. Like,
You're
he's
right,
a
though.
monster. He's gonna save it.
Yeah.
So you got to hope for the dirty goal off a shin pad or off a skate that's
Right.
just
And you
pinballs
just need
around.
Gallagher. You just need Gallagher in his grill.
Yeah.
Like, you need guys like in his face, make him uncomfortable.
And that's one guy I want to see. One guy, like, he hasn't really stepped up goal scoring yet. Like, he's been doing his job as a role player. But I want to see Gallagher start burying some fucking creasers in the crease.
Yeah, man, definitely. Also, another one I would like to see. I can see it happening. It's Josh Anderson, because he was a part of that Columbus team that beat Tampa 4 straight, and he was a big part of that. So if he can use his big power forward,
Just drive the net.
and drive to net and speed,
Yeah.
it could really like even if someone pushed you and you pushed you into Vasilevsky,
Yeah.
hey man,
Yeah.
shit
And
happens. But
defensemen are bad
you
for
want
that. I
in the
don't
back
know. I
of
don't know
Vasilevsky's
why
head.
they but
Mhm.
they react. They're like, "Oh, you're not going to the net." It's like, all right, well, you just shoved me into your goalie. Like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just took your goalie's head off by shoving me into him. I don't like. Thanks, I guess. You're doing more damage to him. I don't know why
Yeah.
defensemen do that.
You
Yeah.
you got an answer there, Josh?
For for Montreal, I'm agreeing with the Gallagher one.
Okay.
Like Fred made a good point, and those are the ways that you're gonna score goals. Like that's always like they always say, like when a team is having a hard time scoring in a series, the way to do it, if there's a goalie that's having a hot run, like the way to do it is just make the goalie uncomfortable. Like you have to do what you can to just get in his face, get in his grill. Like Perry's been doing it all playoffs.
Mhm.
He just needs to keep doing it to Vasilevsky. They need to pretty much have someone going to the net at all times.
Right on.
So
I
that's
have,
a big one.
I have one more thing to add.
No, go
to-
for it.
Like also another big thing is we all know that Tampa's power play is like it's the best power play in the NHL. It's phenomenal. So another thing is obviously Montreal wants to stay out of the box, but Montreal can't be getting into this game where they gotta after every whistle to get into this like pushing match because it ain't gonna work against Tampa.
No.
But if it goes to like if you're gonna get a penalty, make it a good fucking penalty. So like if somebody's going on a breakaway, you fucking hack him in the leg. Like you make it a good penalty, make him feel it. If you know you're going to the box regardless.
Broad Street bully style.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, because what's the point of putting like, you guys know this. Like, if you so much touch their hand with your stick, you're getting called for the hook, right?
Yeah.
So instead of touching it, whack it. Make it a good fucking penalty.
I know what you mean because nothing's
Make that a
worse.
sound drop.
fine. You're gonna get a $5,000 fine, but you might as well do it and get a one up on a player.
Yeah,
It's dirty, man. But that's
nothing's
how you
worse
win.
than seeing like a little chintzy penalty. You're like, man, if you were gonna take one on that, fucking make it
a good penalty, man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my my rough style of hockey.
And honestly, for on the other side of things, because you know how I was saying both teams, like for the other side of things, I don't even know what I can say about Tampa. Maybe like Braden Point actually score a goal. Like what else? What else can they do? Like they've done everything they need to, and I don't even think has David Savard even been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing his thing.
But he's just playing quiet shutdown.
Yeah,
That's what he's
third
doing.
pair of minutes.
Yeah.
But man, who's been getting the goals? The third and fourth liners for the most part.
Yeah.
You're getting like your Shirellis, your Colemans, like these guys.
I mean,
I don't know, man. It's
the depth.
matchups. It's matchups too. Like I think tonight will tell. Let's see how Montreal do against them when they do the matchups this time. We'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe Montreal-
I guess next podcast it'll be all done.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think it might
no,
be.
maybe.
If it's going to game 6 or 7.
Okay. Yeah.
It's dependent on Montreal.
So perhaps we'll get to that later in the show with the prediction pints. But Fred, do you have a nice little record kept there, right? You have that nearby?
Which one do you want to know?
Oh, we'll get there later in the show. But good to know
we'll
that you
get
got the
there,
record. Good
Fuck,
stuff.
man. It's good thing I'm not a gambler because I'd be fucking.
We all would. Most of us would, anyways.
You're hurting right now, Mitch.
I
That's all
just
I'm
did
saying.
digging a grave. Like every fucking thing I do is wrong.
All right, so I guess I'll just field a couple questions or a question or two here. Biggest surprise of the playoffs aside from Montreal being where they are. So this could be like early round stuff. This could be more recent stuff. This could be stats for individual players or for teams. Like I just want to hear one answer here, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Oh gosh.
Biggest surprise of the playoffs.
I don't know.
Big
See,
surprise.
Montreal is just the obvious answer. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
I gotta say. Besides that, I mean, the Oilers sucking as hard as they did it's a huge one.
Yeah, and I can go and say Toronto.
Yeah, you can
Not
say
doing-
Toronto,
that's
but
a
at least
good
they
point.
made it. But at least they made it 7 games, and now look who did it against them, who's in the final, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it makes more sense at least. I mean, fucking, you have the best player in the world, bar none, and then probably arguably one of the third, fourth best player on your team, and you can't even get a fucking playoff win. I mean,
That's a really
Oilers
good point, Mitch.
sucking like they did is brutal.
That's a good one. A good point about the Toronto thing as well, actually, especially where Montreal made it all the way to the finals. Next one, breakout star of the playoffs. Who's killing it? Who's all over the news headlines? Who's on stat sheets? Give us one name.
Caulfield, Suzuki. You can go either or.
Yeah, the kids.
I'd go with Caulfield too.
Yeah.
I would say the kids on Montreal.
Yeah, because as soon as they came in, it changed the whole dynamic of a whole team. Like that's pretty big. Like how a rookie can come in and then you're like, oh, okay, I guess we're good now.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
Yeah,
That never happens.
It's really funny, Fred, because they did change in that series in the first round. Like because they weren't even playing them the first 2 games.
No, yeah, the first 2
they didn't play. They didn't play them at all.
I just want to bring up a quick point about that squad too. Like Montreal, so it's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it a lot of guys that have been around the league for at least a little bit? Not necessarily a squad full of veterans.
Yeah,
but like...
no, it's a squad full of vets. I mean,
okay.
Price has been there forever. Perry's, Jesus Christ, Perry's
35.
Isn't that interesting though? Like it's usually the other way around. Like
I agree.
Like you have a young squad and you have that one veteran piece that you're missing, and then that takes them over the top. But it's like the opposite here.
Yeah, they took in Stahl and then they took in like Perry, these older guys, and they're the ones that are,
I mean, there's only 3 3 guys in their lineup playing that I would consider kids in Suzuki, Caulfield, and Kotkaniemi. I mean, if Romanov was there, fine, but they're not playing them right now. I mean, everyone else is kind of familiar with the league and been around. Deneau is no young kid anymore.
27, 28, I think.
I mean,
the blueprint, like usually with the NHL is that it's like, you grow your core. And then when you're making a playoff push, you insulate them with like, handy veterans.
Exactly.
Which is kind of funny because like you're saying, I think you're onto it, Alex. Like it's really weird because like Montreal is a huge exception. It's like this core that they've had for years. That's I wouldn't say is like the young core, right? It's like the Shea Weber, Jeff Petrie. Like so you have your top 2 defenders, like Carey Price, who's been around for
14 years now with the Habs.
Exactly. Deneau, who's, like, you know what I mean? Like you have these veterans and then they did pick up some like other veterans to insulate them. But then when they started having their success, they just injected the rookies into the lineup. Like they just
they did the opposite. Instead of injecting the veterans, you inject the rookies.
Yeah, throw the rookies in and then the rookies are like all that energy.
Right? Very different way of going about it.
Which is another. I got to add one point, which is something that really bothered me last game. Montreal had a 4-on-3 power play when they were behind by 1 goal, and they didn't put out Caulfield on that 4-on-3.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
I didn't understand that because his speed, which he's shown, there was a breakaway. I can't remember who was on it. Probably like Sorelli, and of course Caulfield got back in no time to deflect it and saved a shot. So like on that 4-on-3, he would have been the perfect person to have on defensively for his speed and for his shot. I didn't understand it at all.
That's weird. That's a rough situation though. 4-on-3 is something you don't practice, and you can tell it was really rough. They were like boxed out the whole time. So like it's easy to box out a 4-man unit, right? Because you just put 3 in the middle, and then it's all outside shots.
Yeah.
So last question about the NHL. I guess we're still talking playoffs here.
Playoffs?
Whose stock went up and whose stock went down? Just one answer for each.
Is this entire playoffs?
Yeah, entire playoffs. Whose stock went up? Whose stock went down? Who you buying in on? Who you selling?
Okay.
Looks like Josh has an answer.
For me, man, I'm gonna stick with them. We already talked about him, but Perry, like this guy, every single year he's an old guy, man, but he's only getting paid $750,000. Like he's worth more. He's doing more.
Yeah,
some people that are worth $2 million.
And in that same breath, Jason Spezza, I think.
Yeah, Spezza deserves that too.
Spezza got re-signed and stuff like that. Like, and obviously, I mean, there he took like discount, obviously, say at Toronto, but I mean, I think Spezza showed he still has worth, especially on a cup contending team because he showed up. I mean, I don't know if anyone is skyrocketed their value in regards to like a breakout
kind of thing.
Yeah, like Caulfield maybe, yes, but I mean it's also not that unexpected either.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it's like people already had stock in him kind of thing. Like you expected it.
Yeah.
For losing stock, I think Mark Stone.
Yeah, Mark Stone took a bit of a hit there, man.
This guy all season has been dynamite. Literally since he was with Ottawa, all the way to now with Vegas, he is an underperformer in the playoffs. He doesn't put up points. I don't know why. He's so good defensively and offensively, but then he becomes an absolute disappearing act in the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate, but it's the case. Hopefully that doesn't happen with Marner next year because it sort of happened to him this year. But I think he's going to be an exception because he got the nerves to him, and I think he's younger. So
Yeah.
Stone should know better. I don't even know how old anymore. Was he fucking 30?
No, I think he's probably late 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 20s, but he looks 50. Like,
Yeah,
He does.
I think he's one of those guys that looks older than he is.
his
Jeez.
helmet. My favorite is his helmet. When he wears his helmet, it looks like this.
Yeah.
Right on the top of your head.
It can't
Please
stay
watch
on
the
his
video
Wear it right.
pod. You need to see
Kills
it.
me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fred's answer is almost the perfect segue. I hate to always I am a typical Leafs fan. I always bring it back to the Leafs. But it's
Irrelevant.
funny. I
That's
won't
fine.
I know and I won't say like it's kind of funny because it's one answer for like, you know, rising stock and falling stock,
Mhm.
but just to watch like the general thought around that whole team throughout the playoffs is hilarious. And just the general Toronto Maple Leafs like fan vibe and how they treat the team now is something else, man. They're crazy. Like the general like the fan base is insane. Like they're so down on this team right now. Everyone's like, I don't even
That's
fucking care.
wild, dude.
Yeah,
Especially
they're like,
with the point that Mitch brought up earlier about like, all right, sure, like it was an incredible disappointment in the first round, but like the team that bet you is in the cup final.
And
Take a little bit of stock, you know, take a little bit of
Yeah.
pride in that, I guess.
and that's what I find funny too, because that's what I'm saying. Like the stock kind of like it's completely went like this because
yeah.
because the first round, like after the exit, if say Montreal lost in the second round, holy fuck,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It
That
paints
would
a
be
total
bad.
different picture
Yeah.
Yeah.
than now Montreal being in the final
Mhm.
and like what Toronto does in the offseason. But a lot of fans don't even care. Like
Yeah.
they're so
Yeah.
unreasonable right now
No,
that
it's
they're
true.
like, we don't even care to watch the whole next season. It doesn't even matter. They're like, their expectation is already like playoffs next season.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah,
do
we'll
do
see you in the
first-
playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
what's still driving me nuts is that everyone's like, "Oh, trade Marner for Eichel." I'm like, "Okay, they're pretty good down the center. I think they need Marner." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of people are like that, man. I actually think the majority of the fan base is saying trade Marner, which I think would be a huge mistake.
Yeah.
I
That's
agree.
that's
He
a
was
recency.
top 5 in points this year.
That's a
Yeah.
recency bias thing, 100%.
It is 100%.
It is.
100%.
And he had a bad series. I know he's had a bad couple of playoffs. Like, but the guy is still a really young player.
Yeah.
Like, he will figure it out.
Right.
Alex, I'll add this too. Okay.
Yeah.
Philip Deneau from Montreal. Everyone
Mhm.
talks about how amazing defensively he is.
Yeah.
He has like 2 assists. I think that's
Yeah.
it. The entire playoffs.
Mm.
He has nothing. But man, if they traded him right now, everyone's like, "Oh, what fuck you have 4 bunches?"
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's this whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
if Marner would have just scored a bunch of fucking goals, everyone would have
It's
been
funny.
happy, go lucky.
Marner-
But
Yeah.
it's not this
Exactly, Fred.
expectation.
And it's that specific expectation because even Marner
Yeah.
and Matthews' defensive stats were off the charts in that series.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
they never really got scored on, but no one thinks about that. They're looking at it like, well, you didn't score the goals, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. Like, no one's expecting him to score the goals. They're expecting him to lock it down, and he's doing his job.
And he's doing it exactly.
Yeah.
I feel
Exactly.
like Deneau has he's put himself in the conversation for like a TJT favorite. He is he's there. He's mentioned on a lot of pods.
I said Perry. I should have just said Deneau.
Yeah, that's true.
Deneau has been like unreal.
So
He's been so good.
Mitch,
do we
you
think
have,
there?
oh, go ahead, Josh. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, because that's the thing. That's a good answer for stock rise because he's a free agent.
Yeah.
Like, after the playoffs are done. Like, what do you think his contract looks like? Because I've seen like insiders saying like it ranges all over the place. Like a lot of general managers think are saying
I'm
different
really
things.
curious.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
if-
I think the Athletic has reported that like some general managers are saying like they can't see him getting more than 4.5 on the open market per year
Yeah.
on a 5-year deal, which would be excellent for Montreal
Yes.
because they'll just bring him back. Like
because
but-
he offered him 5.
yeah. So it's pretty crazy.
It's all about. I feel like in that situation too, he's probably really comfortable in the system that he's in as well. So it's all about working those kinds of players into your system, and
That's true.
all that stuff goes into contracts. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Mitch, do you have before we move on? Do you have you were afraid you were gonna say something?
No. You go ahead.
Oh,
No.
were you gonna say or Mitch? Did you have a rising stock or
No, I kind of already said like Jason
Okay.
Spezza kind of stock
Cool,
rose.
cool.
I mean, and Deneau, same thing. I exact same. I have to reiterate what Josh and Freddie said. Same.
But I know what you do have, Mitch. Do you know what that is?
Sex appeal.
Hit it.
Starts with S.
That stat is steamy. A steamy stat.
Steamy sex appeal.
Mitch has a steamy stat this week. What do you got?
So it is steamy, but I mean it's kind of obvious too. But like for the NHL, the awards for the final awards remaining, because they've been kind of trickling out the winners throughout the week. They named like the Hart and all that this week. So Hart was like the MVP of the league and team and stuff like that. So Connor McDavid obviously won it. Just because I mean his points total this year is ridiculous. But he unanimously won it. So every single voter named him like MVP, and he's only the second only player to ever do that since the war, and the award's been around forever. And the only other player to do it was Wayne Gretzky back in the 80s. So,
jeez, okay, yeah,
It's
unanimous vote is that's a good thing to have if you're an MVP, because like from year to year you have like a little bit of debate. From obviously I don't think this year would be one of those years regardless of how the votes turned out, but like to have a unanimous thing that's locking it in, and it looks really good on your resume regardless of your playoff experience. But yeah, hey Connor, pick it up in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's that's all great. I don't know if he'd get it if they were judged it based on playoffs.
So regular season awards.
But that's it.
Imagine if the Oilers had some defense. Just imagine, or some secondary scoring.
They might be getting Duncan Keith.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So you know what? I honestly think, Duncan Keith's not the same player. I really think that's a stupid trade on their part if they do it.
That's so very Oilers.
It is a very Oilers trade. You're right, Josh. That would be a very Oilers trade. But I mean,
it's been reported that Vancouver. So the report that came out. Now, when I say like reports, I'm actually talking like I'm not dropping names, but I'm talking like like insiders.
Yeah.
Like Friedman or whatever. But the reports that come out so far was saying, I think it was reported that he was going, or it looks like they're finalizing or they're close to a deal, or there's heavy talks of him going to Pacific team or Northwest, like Canada, Western Canadian team.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, interesting. Like, what are your options there?
Calgary or something.
But Vancouver is already out on it because they said that they weren't aware. They've already maybe, or it's already been said that they weren't aware. So it kind of narrows it down. Like, what do you think? It's going to be fucking Winnipeg, or is it gonna it's going to be Edmonton? I think like that would be.
Time will tell. Hey, could be a big shakeup before you know it. We'll shift it over to the NBA. That's some good hockey talk. That's some. That's a banger of a hockey talk to start the show. We'll shift to the NBA. At the moment, the Phoenix Suns just punched their ticket to the NBA Finals. And
my boys,
yes.
It's the first time it's happened since '93, so it's a long time coming.
I know what you're gonna say, Fred. Shut up. It's
yes,
doing these fucking parallels and coincidences all fucking playoffs.
Really?
Yeah. This happened when they won the cup in '93, and it's happening now.
The last time they both went to the Stanley Cup Finals, man, it was Montreal and Phoenix. Love it.
It's like, it's meant to be. It's a sign.
It's meant to be.
So Phoenix won that series 4-2 against the Clippers. Really good stuff. Hey, let's listen. But I guess like mention as well that Atlanta and Milwaukee are still playing their series. It's 3-2. Milwaukee leads. We'll also get to that later in the show with Prediction Pints. But just going to have a quick listen to Chris Paul and Rachel Nichols after the game. This is just a nice little wholesome moment here.
There was a point the Clippers cut it to 7. You then scored 14 of 16 points on your way to 41 for the game. What kind of mission were you on?
Don't lose. Don't lose mission. You know what I'm saying? Damn, that feel good. I wish my son and my family come down here. I don't know, man. It's just a lot of emotions, a lot of injuries. I was getting an MRI yesterday on my wrist. A lot of shit going on. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I just want to get over there with my team, Rach. Respect. Appreciate you.
I'll talk to you when I give you the trophy. How about that?
Why would you say that?
Yeah, I know. If I was him at that point, I'd be like, I'm gonna Patrick Beverly you right now.
Yeah,
How can you not root for CP3, man?
I know.
Like,
He's
I
so
want him to
great.
win so bad.
Yeah.
And
Oh, man.
you gotta give,
So
honestly,
much.
now let's give a round of applause, though. Let's give a round of applause to the Clippers. Because they finally got CP3 to the final.
I thought you were gonna. It is funny. I thought the way that was going, I thought you were gonna genuinely congratulate them on their great run, but no.
No, they finally got him to the final.
Thanks, Paul George. You did good.
Oh man, no, he got himself to the final, and that's excellent, man. And that's it. My pick, prediction
That's
pint.
your pick.
That's your prediction pine.
That was from early in the playoffs. I was calling that Suns.
So, and Charles Barkley called
Yeah, you
that
did.
right at the beginning of the playoffs as
Sorry.
well. There's some kind of betting line where it was at the beginning of the season for the Suns to make the playoffs, or sorry, the finals, and it's an insane betting line. Like, if you were one of those, I can only see like insane Suns fans making that bet. Just like dropping $20 on it.
This was like before the season started, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was just crazy. They haven't made the finals or the playoffs in 10 consecutive years before this year.
And last season they were a bottom feeder. Like,
Yeah.
that's the CP3 effect, man. It is unreal, especially when it comes to certain players around that team. Again, you can link it back to the hockey discussion we were talking about earlier, except it's the opposite. You have this team, you have this young core, you have DeAndre Ayton, number 1 pick, Devin Booker, high draft round pick. Can't remember quite if he was number 1 or not. I don't think he was number 1, but obviously a very talented young star, and still like they're bottom feeders of the league. You bring in Chris Paul, and I got to be honest, Chris Paul, as a Rockets fan, it was kind of heartbreaking to see him go on to OKC and then go on, which he did make the playoffs with, by the way. And then go on to the Suns and be like, oh God, man, like I guess this is it. I guess this is this dude's career, being like, and just kicking around, making good money on low seed teams. But here he is in the NBA Finals with a team that exists like the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah,
like is he like an instant? Sorry, like is he an instant Hall of Famer? Like,
has to be first ballot. Has to be first ballot.
He's Hall of Famer already. He
Yeah,
doesn't need the way Chris CP3 is played. He doesn't get it. He doesn't need the championship to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but with this championship, it's like
a lot.
It's the icing on the cake for him, right?
Yeah,
like,
I think this run locks it in.
Yeah,
maybe without wins it or not.
Yeah, because the discussion has been floating around Twitter and all that kind of stuff of like, okay, he's no longer the best player not to make a finals. Who takes that? And everyone's saying like Steve Nash and stuff like that. But,
yeah.
It's funny, another Suns player, but
Another
Sun. Yeah, he's made the finals, and time will tell. It's all about the one of the big things now with the NBA is like, man, the injuries. It's like when are they going to come into play for either side?
Well, CB3 was hurt, but he's back.
That's the thing with Chris Paul.
Booker has a broken face. And he's struggling through that, man.
He really don't like that mask.
How can that guy breathe? How do you breathe with a
I'd hate that mask, man. Holy crap, that must be so annoying.
Imagine run around just being a mouth breather the entire time. It's miserable.
It's kind of crazy too, because like usually like you see the masks and it's like, all right, it's fitted, but with the Devin Booker one, it almost looks like it's that tight. His skin is like sticking out in like his eye socket zone.
Yeah.
It's
oh
like,
man, that must be so sweaty.
No wonder as a shooter
so
that in like the couple of third quarters, like, get this off my face, man. Like, I don't care. And he's still getting hit in the face, which is crazy. It's just very, very random thing. It's like people are like, they're definitely like, hey, Patrick Beverly, just please go up here and smack him.
Yeah.
headbutt him again, will you?
Just like a bad, like, just a small graze by when you challenge it on.
Yeah. But that series, I gotta say, was really good overall. It was a lot more than I expected it to be. And let's give credit. It's almost meme worthy now to like, shit on the Clippers and like especially Paul George, like playoff P and all that kind of stuff. But like, props to him. And props to the Clippers for being where they are now, because when they were down 0-2 against the Mavericks, and was like, all right. And that was the series where every away game was won. So it was like the weirdest thing ever. And like the fact that they made it that far was honestly pretty crazy. So props to them. Who knows what Kawhi? I think Kawhi is a free agent next season. So who the hell knows what he's doing? He's the hardest player to read in probably professional sports. So who knows?
Probably go to like Charlotte or something.
And one of the different things about that series too, it's like he's injured. All right, it's like, but he's still in the arena. Is he on the bench? No, he's in a suite. What are you doing up there? Why are you spectating from a suite?
And man, he showed a lot of emotion up on
it's so much
press box.
So much emotion.
Oh, I should have got that Mike Breen quote from the game. Because like, what was it? It's like Kawhi is going crazy.
Yeah, he's just there like.
God, that guy has no emotion.
No, it's he's a strange guy.
I would love to have him in the locker room for like a pump up talk. All right, guys, man, we have a good game. Let's go.
I'm a fun guy. Let's go out and play. Why don't I have that sound drop? That's the real question.
Just do a bunch of Kawhis to be great.
So
loop him.
Yeah, loop all of his laughs together. I gotta say to another player that's really stood out from that series in particular was Reggie Jackson. He was unreal. If you mentioned him in conversations prior to the playoffs, people knew that he was on the Pistons. They didn't start him in the series because they chose to start Patrick Beverley, but in every series prior, they started him because he kind of had this breakout performance, which I guess is kind of the question I asked you guys with hockey earlier. Breakout star Reggie Jackson easily is one of the ones that stands out for me because I'm pretty sure he led the league in playoffs for three-pointers sank, and it's just a weird season because you have all these kind of like stars that perhaps the general public isn't necessarily familiar with, and it's a good thing because you get exposed to a lot of different players and stuff. DeAndre Ayton is a big name. DeAndre Ayton,
he's huge, man. He's cleaning up offensive boards, like just little things, man.
Yeah.
This playoffs is about depth. This is breakout players and depth is what these NBA players playoffs have been about.
No,
that's crazy, man.
That's right.
Well, that's a segue. Just look at our other series, Hawks and Bucks.
Well, me and I might as well go into it now.
For sure. Yep.
I mean, me and Alex were talking about before the podcast. I mean, this is, I don't know. Like, I'm not a big NBA fan, and I'm not a big NBA fan. I'm not a diehard NBA fan. I'm more of a casual fan. So, like I was saying, Alex, Trae Young and Giannis both being out.
Yeah, you're stars.
It's a hard series to watch. It's a hard draw. And it's like there's like how many players can you actually name?
It's true. It's true.
Bog, man. That's the one I know.
No, it's like, hey, I could name Antetokounmpo. Giannis?
Yeah.
No, his brother.
The other Antetokounmpo.
And I think the only thing his brother's done so far is help him off the court when he hurt
him. I'm looking at the stats right here for the most recent game. All right. Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Rebounds, 0. Assists, 0. Points, 0.
What's he doing?
Minutes played, 3. He was out there.
He was there. He was doing something.
He was there.
Thanasis.
Hey, Thanasis, get your shit together. But it's funny you bring that up though, Mitch, because you're exactly right. If you're talking about pure star power, and you look down the roster, you look at the stat sheet. Who is the biggest name here in terms of star power? Chris Middleton played an all-star game a couple years back. On the other end of things, I'm not even sure if the Hawks didn't have an all-star this year. So
not saying that Trae Young is,
yeah, he got shafted from the ballot this year, and but
I think that I don't know if that was a motivator for him, but I mean this is his breakout. Year now. These playoffs are his like his coming of age kind of deal thing.
He's a star.
And I made the point to say earlier, if you're talking about like stocks going up, obviously Trae Young was a star before.
Yeah,
but
I think it's skyrocketing now for sure, man.
Because now you have a dude. Because we talked about it a bunch on the pod before. The fact that playing in the playoffs is a little bit different than playing in the regular season, and that's a dude who just like views both as one and the same, and if not, he turns it up 3 notches when he gets to the playoffs. So to see that in a young guy, especially in his debut, is fantastic to see.
He's a favorite of the pod, and he will be for years to come. Man,
Yeah,
like he's so good. He's so fun to watch.
I think we can all agree that he's going to show up for Game 6, injured or not.
I think he.
You'd hope so. You'd hope.
I think he has to play.
He
has to play.
You limp around if you have to.
Yeah. I think Giannis sits, but I think Young has to play.
Do you think? Say if they force a Game 7,
and I think Giannis.
Do you think Giannis is back?
Yeah.
And speaking of which, that
he's
injury,
very fortunate with that injury.
I just don't.
I think so too.
I don't know how serious it is, and I think it might be one of those things that they could be downplaying how serious it is.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Like they're saying it, the MRI sounds good and stuff like that, man. But like, man, that was a bad hyperextension, and in a man that big, like, I'm surprised he didn't tear something.
It's one of those things, man. Like, it's really hard for me to look at. Even though I know it's coming on SportsCenter, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I just look away because it was a hyperextension of the knee. So knee went the opposite way.
Yeah.
Giannis is basically 7 foot tall. He's a massive man. Oh, it's just
he looked like like an ostrich, how they're like their legs and like a chicken that bent the other way, like dinosaur legs kind of deal or something like that. It's like your knee goes the other way, dude, not that way.
Yeah. What are you doing?
He was trying to do it.
Yeah, look what I can do.
Ow, that hurts.
Oh god.
Wrong way.
Oh god.
But yeah, so it's an interesting series. I mean, it's not a sexy series. Let's say that, even with Giannis and Trae Young. I mean, like we were saying before, and I think one thing is, and mad props to the Bucks, because I was kind of giving shit to Giannis for re-signing with the Bucks. I'm like, who the hell else do you have around you? Why are you re-signing? But I mean, they're showing they're a good, well-coached, rounded basketball team even without Giannis. So mad props to them. But
I find it's just I'm actually surprised that they are where they are. I am too. Yeah. It's in the prediction pints, but I expected them to dominate this series, and most of what I'm putting that on is Giannis. Just I think, like, if you get him to do what he's good at, he's very unstoppable. There is a reason why he won back-to-back MVPs. He's a dominant guy if you put him in the paint. Don't try to make him an ultra modern big and have him shooting shots. Just let him be this powerful monster and drive right into the paint. That's what he's good at. So I guess we'll see what happens with that series, and maybe talk about it a little bit in the prediction pints later. But we'll do a very quick. We're gonna return to one of our classics. We're gonna do a very quick nasty or nice.
Is it nasty? Or is it nice?
So, again, Mitch, I didn't notice actually last podcast on the video pod that you were doing a nice little ballet move. So hopefully that becomes a staple. All right, so this week we're going to be talking about the Blue Jays All-Star jersey. Or I guess the MLB All-Star jerseys. Specifically the Blue Jays, because they made the decision to put the U.S. flag on the left sleeve as opposed to the Canadian flag.
That's interesting.
Their justification was, all right, we're going to honor the states because we've played in 2 different states, and that's how we show our honor to them. But like,
get out of here.
And the same people are like, oh, the maple leaf is in your emblem. It's like, that don't matter. It really doesn't. We're the one. I say we, but it's true. Everyone here is a Jays fan.
Yeah.
We're the one Canadian team in the MLB, and you can't give us that. Like, you can't just give it that.
Put both on them, for God's sake.
Put both on.
Like, I get it. Like, you're playing in the States, and they're like, they're hosting us, which is great. But like, it's still the Toronto Blue Jays, your Canadian team. Yeah. Like, put both on it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're fucking ugly jerseys, anyways.
What are you guys general? You know what? I was trying to think what it reminds me of looking at it. You know what I think? I think bowling.
Yeah, bowling
That's
or golf
one.
or golf polo.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't like it.
Hey, You want to go bowling, Vladdy?
Yeah. Does anyone like it?
I don't know.
No, I mean the
Don't like
colors.
the color.
You don't
Yeah.
like color?
I don't like the Toronto going down. The
The vertical
Blue Jay
thing
fucking
is
logo.
very weird. The vertical, yeah, I don't like the vertical text. I think we talked about that on like one of the NBA earned jerseys as well.
Yeah, it's not even the right color.
I don't even like the white on the tips of the sleeves. Like you should have matched it with the red or something.
Right.
Like, everything is just off on this.
I'm looking at some of the other teams too, man, and like the Toronto one's not too bad because you can see the O and it's kind of placed above it.
Right.
But then you got like some, like a lot of them are letters.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
Texas is TEX, but the T is almost completely overlapping the E, so you can barely read it.
So it's like,
and the really bad one is who is that?
Awful all over
Minnesota?
the place.
just crap.
Minnesota.
It's a bunch of shit.
Is it like the little? Is it a T?
Yeah, well, but it's T with the C. I'm confused now.
Yeah, Twin Cities. It's
Twin
it's-
Cities. So it's Minnesota, but the TC is overlapping the I, so it's just a fucking mess.
That's a mess. Yeah, especially that's a good point, Mitch. Awful idea, especially with teams with alphabetical emblems like Detroit with the D. Probably looks awful.
Cleveland is brutal because they're just the C, so it's like CCLE,
Oh, God.
but like is that an L? And it's like and LA same thing. Like LA, the A is completely overlapping the other A, so it's just like LA. I don't know, man. These are
What
garbage. The
what
more you work with
intern-
these, the more garbage they are.
What intern did that?
It's an intern. These are intern jerseys.
Yeah, that's a really good point about the vertical, I guess, abbreviation, and then the teams with the alphabetical emblems. It's awful. It's awful.
I'm just a general. I generally dislike vertical.
I think so too.
abbreviations anyway. Like they're just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't like them.
That's bad. Those are
Yep.
those.
So-
The more you look at them, the worse they are.
It's true.
Consensus? It's shit.
It's
Recycle.
nasty.
Yep. Throw them
Yeah.
out. Get new ones.
Hey, let's get to the pick and roll.
Hey, bro! Hey!
I like the pick and roll. I like the give and go.
Answer the question.
Freak out, yo!
We're at the pick and roll part of the podcast. All right.
I like to pick a nose. I like to pick my nose.
Pick your nose.
First on the ballot, picking your nose.
Who can get the biggest booger? Let's go.
Yeah, this is the podcast.
What we do now.
This is where alcohol.
Professionalism at its finest. I don't got any alcohol in me.
It's creeping in.
TSN, do you need a podcast to pick up? Get this one. We'll talk about boogers.
I picked my nose.
Booger.
All right. First real topic. The Blue Jays have 3 all-star starters. So the voting was complete last night, and we have learned. It's funny, they were really, really pushing the votes last night. So it'd be interesting to see how many votes actually poured in last night. Because even on the broadcast, they're like 15 minutes left, 10 minutes left, and all this kind of stuff. But we ended up with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Will start at first base. Not a big surprise because he's the leading vote getter in all of baseball. How about that? It's pretty cool.
He's awesome.
You have all Canada voting behind him, and then he's a star. Like his name is big in the States as well too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just
No surprise there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a monster.
Yeah, and he's it's fluctuating between 3 players right now, but he's in amongst that conversation for homers. So again, no surprise. Semien, Marcus Semien at second base. One of the best second basemen in the league. So not a big surprise there either. He's tearing it up this year. Teoscar Hernandez, big power hitter. Comparable to anyone in baseball in terms of power. Out in the outfield. So that's three all-stars for the Toronto Blue Jays, and Bo Bichette just nearly missed out from he got bumped by Xander Bogaerts. So
I mean, like you can't complain. I mean, 3 Blue Jays on All-Star game is good.
4. Almost
yeah,
4. Like
almost 4. That's crazy, man.
Honestly, as Blue Jays fans, like it spoils of riches, like for this team right now. Like
It's-
they
but-
just need the pitching.
But yeah, that's literally what's killing them. That's so weird. Like you got all these stars, but you look
They
at
just-
the record and it's like this is not a team with
Yeah.
full of all stars.
Mm.
But
I think
it's their pitching and the relief pitching mostly. It's
I think they'll address it. Like they've already started. So
yeah, they have. They made those
Yeah.
trades. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've already
and
started. So
it's just so exciting because like they're literally growing into pretty much they're actually one of the best offensive teams in the sport once again. So
yeah,
hey, we're approaching that 2016 status again. It's awesome.
I was gonna say too, like I love that that's the identity. It's just being like one of the best offensive teams. Like that's
Yeah.
excellent, man.
It's so awesome.
I'll give mad props to management in that too, man. I mean, this is a quicker turnaround than I was expecting.
Yeah,
I was
really,
expecting
yeah.
like bad,
3
like
years- 3
the
years of
2000 and 2010s, you know, like those
Yeah.
years of just Blue Jays just being a mediocre team.
Yeah, and hey, fans were really hard on the whole GM switch as well. Because remember, Alex Anthopoulos left to go to the Dodgers,
Right.
and
I mean, well, that worked out for.
and we picked up Ross Atkins and stuff like that, and people were really hard on him. People were really hard on like the slow moving rebuild, but like you said, Mitch, it didn't end up being as slow.
No,
he knew what he was doing.
It really worked out.
Next up, we got the Diamondbacks snapping an MLB record of 24-game road losing streak. So
Good for them.
Good for them. That's I guess pretty much all I gotta say about that.
You get 2 snaps.
Hey, the new logo.
Yes, new logo. And that's all I think about whenever I see the Diamondbacks on everything. It's like that's probably one of the worst logos in sports.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's awful. All right, next up, we got the Stanley Cup Final opening with 24K Golden, who is a pop artist, with a rooftop pool party.
I don't know. Okay,
Did I
don't
miss this?
Yeah, like I don't know
That's tough.
what the NHL is up to right
What
now.
are they doing?
But this is not even the only weird decision that they've made.
No, it's them trying to be hip.
Yeah.
but
Trying
it's
to
like but it's
way
like
too
old,
hard.
But it's old white men deciding what's
Oh,
they think
it's
is hip.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so
Now,
bad.
I mean, I
don't
guess
know who Josh Richards is.
no.
Okay, so that's I think his name is Josh Richards or whatever. Like he's a freaking TikTok star. They just announced him as like the what is it? Like he's like
Oh yes, now I know. Yes, man.
you know who I'm talking about?
He's
He's like
he's teamed up with Barstool because he's doing this cringy. Dave Portnoy is on his cringy TikTok theme here now.
He does like
Teamed up
TikTok
with-
dances and shit. But like he and oh man, it's so bad, it's so cringy. But like the guy he's now like he's been actually given a position by the NHL as like he's like an ambassador. Oh
Interesting.
my god!
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like
Yeah.
the NHL's
to touch base with younger fans.
The
Try to,
NHL
like,
is a
connect with them.
different market than the NBA. Like you can't just put hip hop acts there and expect it
I
to
know
work out.
it's more cringy. Like it fits better with the NBA because there's a heavy hip hop and like urban environment and culture and feel there for NBA. I mean, when you do it with NHL, it comes off very.
I feel NHL's target audience is you got to work a bit harder than that. I feel like
It just comes off very unnatural. And
it
cringy.
does. Oh, it does. And part of it too is like that they're getting the big TNT deal. It's like, hey, just blow it up. Put some big artists on there because that's a big song that they have. I know the song.
That's a good song. I like the song.
It's a
and
good
everything
tune.
like that.
It's a good tune. I gotta
but,
say.
NHL doesn't scream, 24K Golden on top of a rooftop pool party. You know what
Whenever
I mean?
I think NHL music, I just think like Marilyn Manson, Beautiful People.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
man.
like
I
they
want to
had,
listen to some Pantera.
Yeah, like it's like
I wanna
it's like
listen
a
to-
yeah, like end of game, third period 1 goal game pump up song.
yeah.
Yes, man.
Or
Like
Sandstorm.
Don Cherry's Rock'em Sock'ems.
Yeah. Like they had Green Day do the All-Star game one year, like in the middle of the intermission. I mean, that's a bit more of a fit.
Yeah, I think
mean,
so. I think so.
It's just kind of weird, but I mean, that's NHL, man. They're always trying to play catch up with like the NBA and
Right.
all that in regards to modern culture, and it's just
Making it more hip, capturing more of the younger
it's a
audience.
and I don't fault them for it. I mean, because it's a dominantly white sport, so hip is not the most it's not the most hip people in the world. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Hey, We need
Bizarre.
more pool parties for opening the NHL.
Clearly.
It was just such a weird thing to tune into.
I don't know. It's not even like it was like, it's just outside the, the concourse. Like,
No.
because they do have a stage there and everything for like where like almost like a rally area for Tampa Bay. But like that was just like a pre-recorded pool party thing. It was fucking weird.
It's lit, yo. Anyways, that's what Gary Bettman said. Is like that was his pitch. It's gonna be lit.
Yeah. Gary, when I think of Gary Bettman, I think lit.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have I really hope that you guys watch this. It's kind of went somewhat viral. Did you guys see the Steve Ballmer celebration when Nick Batum?
Looks like
the
he
leg
grabbed
rub?
their bags. Is that what
The
you're
leg
talking
rub?
about? Yeah.
So Nick Batum hit a clutch 3 in the third when the Clippers were kind of like tightening the gap a little bit, and it's okay. Like I could just describe it as Steve Ballmer and two other gentlemen. I don't know who they were. They stood up and slapping them both on the thighs because he's in the middle, and then he slapped him again, and then he just starts rubbing.
My favorite is the guy on the left sort of turning away. Like,
Yeah.
doing that.
Steve, give it up.
He's like, yeah, please.
That's
I
my
don't
no-no
Violated
zone.
here.
Yeah. That I don't know. It's just a weird dude. He's an awkward dude,
Oh, yeah.
anyways. Like
Yeah.
he gets super hyped about the team. Like he's an invested owner, but he's awkward. He's awkward AF. Like that whole
man.
when they were signing Kawhi and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There, everything. I don't know. Man. He's just an awkward dude. I think in general.
Someone says like Steve Ballmer and that shit. Like that's why Kawhi is up in the box. He doesn't, he doesn't want anything to do
Don't
with
touch
it.
me.
I'm not going down there.
Hey Steve, get off my leg.
He's awkward, and he does that awkward Kawhi laugh again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a clip to be made there somewhere. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's the weirdest thing, and it gets weird the more you watch it because it's like, hey man, he goes high up on that thigh there. It's like, Steve, what are you doing?
Those were some aggressive thigh rubs.
Yeah. Like Mitch said, he's just the strangest old dude. Like very engaged, but the strangest freaking dude. And the fact that he's one of the, I'm pretty sure, top 20 richest people in the world. It's like very weird. You got to be a bit weird to make that much money, I guess.
Yeah, I think most really rich people are fucking weird to begin with.
Yeah. Next up, we got a couple injuries and MLB situations. We got the first foreign substance violation in the MLB. Hector Santiago of the Mariners was ejected for a foreign. Hector Santiago was he was ejected for a foreign substance found in his glove, and his quote was, I think they take it back and check it. I think once they take it back and check it, it'll just be sweat and rosin. Rosin? Anyways.
Resin?
Rosin.
Sure, that's the definition of the sure kid.
Kid.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, the first ejection, I'm not sure honestly how many have been done since. But that's the first. There's a lot of
and there'll be a lot more.
There's a lot of rub downs and testing and all that kind of stuff going on. They're going to figure out something more smooth next season, but
they have to. It's just ridiculous right now. It's just brutal.
It's disruptive.
It is.
So
there should be something that they could test it with, just like the ump should have something you can literally just put a little dab on your glove, and if it comes back a different color or whatever, there should be something better than like slow this game down loud.
Like the new tech thing again.
The new tech, man.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We're just gonna put your glove in the middle of the field and just
yes.
The glove just ignites. They put that substance on it, and if it has
it's negative for spider tack, but positive for cocaine. So you can continue.
You're good.
You're good.
Bring in laser scanners. So we had a couple injuries as well to two Canadian people, nonetheless. Mike Soroka re-aggravates his Achilles injury in the game, and
guy, man.
It's a shame because he just came back from recovering off of that injury, and you could see it when he plants his foot after pitching. You could see the bottom of his pants just go like like a little pop there, and it's almost worse than a lot of actual big severe injuries, because you can see the muscle zone just be like, it's gone.
Letting go. Yeah. It's gross because it was so much strain on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sucks, especially for Canadian. And also Canadian Josh Naylor was sidelined with a brutal in-game injury off a collision on the field. That was wild. It was like it was one of those things where both fielders were going for the same ball. No one,
No communication.
Yeah. So, and they nailed each other. My God.
You're just run full tilt, eye on the ball, and that's it.
Body count.
Said they nailed each other. His name is Naylor. Big pun.
I love that pun.
Didn't even mean it. Yeah, it was brutal. And the fact that once you're in that zone, you're not thinking of anything else besides catching the ball, and you're going full tilt like Mr.
Yeah, you don't even brace for it, right? You don't. It's just like I got it, and then all of a sudden you're ran over.
And that's another one of the injuries where you could see that he was in a ton of pain, but cameras just kept on him. And even the broadcasters in that particular game were like, I'm not sure if we should show this. Like, basically saying to the director, it's like, can you put the camera somewhere else?
It's a weird thing, man. I mean, it the way it is works because you want to see what's going on.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
it's a balance.
It's weird. I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
It's hard to know what to do for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it gets TV ratings too, to be honest with you. Like,
it makes viral videos and stuff.
Yeah, so what it is.
In the end, it makes some money. The FIBAs are going on now, and Canada is working on qualifying for the Olympics. And just quickly want to read out the roster for Team Canada because it's pretty damn cool at the moment. I'll read off probably names that people will recognize. RJ Barrett.
Who's that? Just joking.
Say it for everyone.
Anthony Bennett. He's back.
He's back, bro.
Lugan's Dort.
Good old Dort.
The Dorter Chamber.
Yes, I love that.
And Corey Joseph was fantastic on the Raptors for a little bit. Trey Lyles, Dwight Powell, Andrew Wiggins. That's a lot of NBA players right there.
Yeah, so. I mean, it's not a lot of sexy NBA names, but I mean, you got some good, obviously talent there and some depth. I mean, that's it's a skilled team. It's a depth team for sure. That's no doubt.
It's good to see. Now, I can't. I'm not sure if they've actually made it to the Olympics at this point. I know they got a victory over Greece the other.
They beat Greece after. So are they so are they to the final now then?
There might be one more matchup left.
They beat China, they beat Greece, and they beat someone else. I think when they beat China, they were moving on to the quarters or semis, and I can't remember what that one was. And I'm assuming Greece would have been the quarters or semis, but I don't know which matchup it was.
They got a good squad, and it's nice because I'm pretty sure it's the first time they would qualify for the Olympics since like 2003 or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be great for them to make it. I mean, the way some of the guys are playing it too, it'd be nice to see some of them up their stock for NBA. I mean, like Wiggins looks great, RJ Barrett looks great, so you know.
That's good stuff.
It'll be nice to see. It'll be good to just see kind of represented on the court too, you know. And you never know, man. I mean,
we need stuff to do over the summer, anyways. So
yeah, exactly.
We need some talking points.
Yeah.
We'll have free agency and expansion draft and all that fun stuff.
With tons of off-season talk for sure. Next up, Tour de France had a bit of an incident, and it was kind of wild. It kind of went viral. What was it?
It was the sign guy, right?
Yeah, was it a lady or a guy?
I think it was a woman. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. She just had a cardboard sign, and she was trying to get her moment on camera, whatever her sign said, and then happened to be the full rush of teams and cranked one guy and then dominoes go and I don't know, like it's a weird, man. It's weird how they approach the cycling over there because it's a very European thing. But like the fans are super involved and getting really in.
That person should be fucking banned, man.
They're trying to press charges. I think they did find her after actually too.
Good.
Like, make an example on that because that's just stupidity.
So stupid. They're caught up in their own, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it's for me. No.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm on camera. Look at this crank.
Yeah. Because there's some notable names involved in that, was there not?
Oh man, well it was. She would have took out a bunch of the leaders in that.
Yeah,
she put it right out in front
of
line. The oncoming line.
Yeah,
so it was domino effect.
Yeah, it's just like you guys are saying. It's just like the fact that some stupid fan. It's a very streaker mentality, really, except almost worse because you ruin the result. Right, so you take out the whole damn race. Like, you see the highlights, and there's just bikes and bodies everywhere. Yeah, it's a wild scene for sure. All because of one stupid sign. Canada's Joey Votto hits 1,000 RBIs, and he's only the second Canadian ever to do it. So that's pretty cool. Gotta
Good
say.
for him.
Sha'Carri Richardson, bumped from the Olympic qualifier. This is a big story for marijuana use.
It's so stupid, man. They're so archaic. Like the rules are so archaic. Like this is something like 30 days out. It's not even going to make a difference. But it's not even a performance enhancing drug. It's legal in a lot of states and also Canada. Like, I don't know. Get with the times. Get with the times is like, that's my thought on it. Like, it's ridiculous, man. For someone to completely like, especially like, it sucks because I guess you got to think about it for your job, and we're probably used to that a bit more. Not always being a part of the whole legality part of it, because I can remember a time when it was illegal, and like you'd go to work on like dry camps and stuff like that, and like you'd have tests and whatnot and have to never do it. But like, it's a little bit ridiculous, man. Like for her now, like to be punished and like lose out, and especially when the Olympics only happen once every 4 years.
That's the thing.
To be fully punished for it and be like, yeah, you can't participate in honestly a race that you have a good chance of winning.
She can still do the relays.
I think she was the favorite. I think she was the favorite.
She was the favorite, if not to come in second place.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm in the middle with this. Like, I'm pro weed and stuff like that. Like, it's not gonna make or break anything like that. But at the same time, you're a professional and you know it's a legal banned substance. Don't touch the stuff.
But what is it gonna improve your snack game?
I know.
Honestly, like it's marijuana. Like, it's not gonna make you run faster.
We were talking a little bit before the pod. I know Fred brought up a point, and it definitely has some merit, especially when it comes to certain training regimes for. It depends on what sport you're competing in, but where it relaxes you, it affects recovery time and stuff like that. So
it's a big thing. Like I use the analogy with bodybuilders. Bodybuilders used to do it after workouts. They probably still do. Like after a hard workout, you can have your cannabis or whatever, and then you're just eating, and it's just your body becomes relaxed, and now you're just go into a healing, like immediate healing for the muscles. And that's probably what she did too, man. She's probably running like, that's hard on the legs, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is what it is. She said that she was totally aware of what she did. So it is what it is. So
yeah, she had a tweet, it's just like, I'm human or something like that. Basically taking the responsibility. And I don't know. It's weird. It's I can agree. I can see arguments on both ends, but it's just it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate.
I agree, and I think it's frustrating too, man, because like the IOC is always the last one to adapt.
Oh yeah.
Like every other sports league has pretty much like eliminated the strictness on this rule, especially for marijuana and THC.
Right. Yeah.
Like every other one has like lifted those sanctions and whatnot. Like you don't see it anymore, right?
Eventually it will, Josh. It will be lifted 1 year.
It will, but it always
down the road, it will.
Exactly. But it always takes the IOC longer. Like they're always the last one to it. It's like, man, figure your shit out. Like, come on. Like, get with the times.
She was what was I gonna say? It's the 100-meter dash, and the thing is, like, that's the one that she's expected to miss the qualifier for, I believe. And in that particular sport, the Olympics is your NBA Finals, your Stanley Cup. So like to miss out on that and to have a 4-year window, like it's brutal.
It's bad because she's also like, because she's a favorite and whatnot, there's some fame around that. Like it affects the sport too. Like at the end of the day too, like not even just the fact, I think she's an American runner, right? But it's going to affect viewership and whatnot, so it hurts the IOC too. Like, come on, like guys, like get with it. Like it's such a small thing to.
She was such a like a star and like like had a lot of star power, so I think she would have attracted a lot of viewers in this particular race. So bad move for them. I think at least financially, competitively too. I have one more extra thing.
I just looked it up, man.
You ahead.
I was just going to say, she ran the 100 meters in 10.86 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fast, man. That's fast.
She could fly.
Crazy stuff. With the Dorito earrings. And the long nails. It's sick.
Yeah, she's a character. Gross. She's a character, man. It's really funny.
So one extra thing I wanted to, is kind of something I stumbled upon in the last minute. In 1961, Gwen Goldman was rejected to be the New York Yankees Batgirl because of her gender.
Oh, I saw this too. This is a nice story.
Just recently, this 70-year-old finally got to fulfill that dream. How sweet. How sweet. And that's how we'll end the pick and roll. So we'll get to the very last segment of the show, and that is Prediction Pints.
Prediction Pints. Get your crisp prediction pints.
It's so sad. For the next pod, we gotta do some talking of the Euros.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're in elimination rounds now. Like teams are getting.
It'll be switching that direction 100% because that's when everything on the other end is cluing up. So
exactly.
Stay tuned.
I was gonna say like that's a good prediction pint one too because I think the final lands right on my birthday, which is
there you go. Lovely.
Yeah.
All right, so Fred, do you want to give us an update? Are you able to give us an update on results?
Yes. So I'll start with you, Alex, because you gave out yours first. You said that Chris Paul would have more than 11 assists in I believe you said game 1.
His first game back. His first game back from that series.
Which he did not.
Damn it. It was the one where he's back from injury, right? So it's like game 3?
Was that game 3? So that would be what? Against
that was against the Clippers.
What day? There's one game where he did. Need to know.
I'll check while you go on to the next one.
So the 24th of June against the Clippers, he did get more than 11 assists.
But did he play the game prior to that?
Yes. He played the 20. Yeah. So he played June 20th, 22nd, 24th, 26th. Like there's no missed games there.
Okay. For whatever reason, I thought he was off with the COVID at the beginning of that series.
So it'd be the 22nd. So you're right. You're actually right. He did get more assists on that first game back. You're actually correct.
Okay, sweet. Awesome.
You did. Ah, well done.
You get a pint.
Yeah.
Yum yum.
Good stuff.
Of course, it was the only game where he got more too, and you were right. Nice.
I was gonna say, Alex, like we need a sound bite in there, which is like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I gotta tear up all those old Clubhouse sound bites because we had a bunch in there. Next up, what do you got next, Fred?
Mitch, are you ready?
No, we'll fucking go for it.
Okay, 1 is still up in the air. You said Hawks in 7.
Yeah. So
yeah, we all had like
yeah. We'll find out, but you also gave out another one.
I said Suns in 5. Suns in 6.
Yeah, you're right.
You're stupid.
That's another -1 for you. God, you're okay.
I almost feel like we need to change the scoring because everyone's gonna be minus.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm actually.
I mean, as we go, as we go, everyone's gonna be.
We'll refine it. It's a work in progress.
All right, let's go.
It should just be points for ones you get right.
So Josh, this one's interesting. You gave out 2 as well. You gave out Braden Point will beat the goal record, which you were wrong. So we'll give you a -1 there. But you also gave this one. This is a really interesting one. You said the injury curse will happen, and it did. Because Alex Clorn got injured with a slap shot
in the first game.
So you're actually right.
There you go. Wow, that's a good one.
Wow,
actually.
It just wasn't point.
But you did say it was a top player too.
Yeah,
so Clorn is. Tyrell said Hawks in 6.
So we don't know that yet. Well, it's actually it's like no, that can't happen.
It can't happen.
Okay.
Right? That's another -1 there.
He failed us.
He also said Giannis would have 33 points in game 1. How many points did he have in game 1?
Let's do a little.
I say definitely at 33.
Did he say 33 or at least 33?
Yeah, he said 33 plus, right? He said it's going to be more than 33. If he just picked
specific,
that would be like 10 points.
33.
Yeah, it's like you should get like 12 points for it or something.
He just automatically wins.
So, okay, was that for game 1?
Game 1, he said, yeah.
And all right, so Giannis had. Oh my God! Did you say 33 was the?
Yeah, that was his.
He had 34.
Oh, so there you go. Nice.
Wow. Good job, Tyrell.
Wow. I said Price would get a shutout. That did not happen.
That's because you said shutout. That's your fault.
You jinxed it. You jinxed the goalie.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, and that was actually the only one I gave.
You should have said Vasilevsky would get a shutout.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah, I should have.
Jinx.
Right.
Jinxed it.
Oh, well. All right, so what are we doing this week?
Oh, shit.
Let's see. I don't have anything like just teed up here. Trying to just think of like different things that would happen at this point in the series in the NBA. Because also, Fred, you can dock me for this as well. I had a prediction for that Bucks Hawks series as well. I thought the Bucks would win it in 5.
Oh yeah.
So feel free to dock me. Let's see.
I'll take one. I'm gonna try and hopefully reverse jinx again. But I'm gonna say Tampa wins in 5.
Ooh, okay.
All right. That could very well happen.
I'm taking a step away from hockey or basketball.
Ooh. What are you going with? Okay, Josh.
This is in line with my
steamy
with
Euros?
my request to continue the Euros. You got to understand that this is actually a historic year for a major tournament for the team of England because they finally beat their Germany curse.
Okay.
And this is something that's been going on for a very long time. And I have a soft spot in my heart for the team of England because they are the Leafs of soccer.
I did not see this coming.
Yeah, but what I'm going to say is because they beat Germany, I'm going to predict, and this is kind of an easy prediction, but I'm going to say they will make it past the round of 16. Like they're going to make it past the next round. They're going to be in the Final Four.
Final Four? Okay.
Yeah. And I want to carry this forward for the next ones now, like the next couple weeks, because I feel like talking about the Euros is fun, especially if England wins it, man. Like that's something crazy. Like they haven't won in like 50 years too. So.
Okay. Interesting.
I got one, I think. I'm also going to stray away from the NHL and the NBA.
What?
I'm going to go. The Jays have a upcoming division series with the Rays that will be completed by the next show. 3 games. Okay. I'm going to say the Rays are up above them in the standings right now, but I'm going to do the homer pick. I'm going to say they take that series 2-1.
Okay. Jays 2-1?
Jays 2-1 in the Rays series. Yep. That'll be my prediction pint.
Good.
Excellent. Interesting. Okay.
Fascinating.
I have 2 that I have. The first one's going to be, I think the Habs are going to win both their games at home.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I got a sound drop for that.
Yes. You gotta lay it on the line, Fred.
Buzz, I gotta go all in.
I love it.
Good stuff. This one's one for the future. This is like a future one that I'll put down, but I think the Suns are gonna win it all.
Yes, I'm with you on this one. I want to double down on yours.
Love that.
I'll triple down on it.
Woo!
We're all taking it
triple down.
This is in relation. I said this a while back. Like I'm like the Suns are going.
Mm-hmm.
They're my pick, right? I said they were my pick out of the West, so I got to stick with my guys.
Stick with your guys, and you mentioned earlier too, Josh. Like who knows what's going on with that Giannis injury? I don't know.
We'll see.
Well, that was sort of the reason why I say it. I'm like, I think like Ayton could really stop him, shut him down with these injuries.
I'm not even confident the Bucks are going to win the series. I still think Trey comes back next game. It goes to 7, and Trey is going to be playoff Trey.
50 points.
He's going to be walking around like Brad Marchand, shooting threes. Going...
Conor McGregor.
Oh, I love it. Licking people.
I love it.
Well, someone spit on him in the New York series, so you might as well lick a couple people while you're at it.
I'll add one more. Trey Young, if he does come back, he's going to sink one from the logo and point at it.
Ooh, that's a
jeez, that's a specific one.
Okay, all right. So, should he get like 2 if he gets that?
Yeah, give him 2.
I'll say we'll give you 2, Fred, if you wanna pick that one up.
I was gonna have a suggestion about how we should score this. We could talk about it after the pod.
Oh yeah,
I think that'll go on for a little bit.
Yeah, and
we should have risk levels. Levels.
Yeah, and losing points and doubling down and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we'll. This will be a good segment. We're slowly making it a better and better segment of this show.
I agree.
All right, we'll call it there for this week.
Yeah.
Really fun show. Who knows? We might crown an NHL champion by the time of the next show. So we'll see. Time will tell. Fred thinks otherwise.
Montreal got them right where they want them. I said that last time at the pod, and Montreal came back.
Yeah, you did. You
There
did.
you go.
And I'm pretty
There
sure
you go.
Fred. If I'm not wrong, I think he wore your jersey like
So
almost every pod, maybe, or like
I
a jersey
never wore
every
it
pod.
last pod, did I? I don't think I wore it last pod, so I had to put it back
Shame
on.
on me.
Could be wrong.
All right, we'll leave it there. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Spotify, sub on YouTube. We'll see if we can get some more non-pod content up on YouTube probably this week. So stay tuned for that. Got a Top Shot video in the barrel, ready, locked and loaded. Yeah, look out for that. Sub on YouTube. Do all that kind of stuff. Send us some tweets. Thanks for listening. Any closing words, boys?
3-point. Trae Young. He's gonna piss on the middle of the court.
He's gonna piss on it?
He's gonna piss on it.
Did you just say that?
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna hit it and he's gonna pee on the logo. Milwaukee.
God. Would you get suspended for that for sure?
I think so. Definitely.
He's gonna do it anyway. He's gonna do it in game 7.
He's like, I had to go.
And then he'll fly off like a hawk. All right.
He transforms.
He's an animorph.
Animorph this whole time.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.